Hello, my name is Brendan Sala. I'm one of the assistant district attorneys here in Erie County. I'm proud to be here today with my dad, Pete Sala, the Democratic nominee for judge of the Erie County Court of Common Pleas. Pete, great to have you on the program.
It's nice to be here with you, Brendan.
Let's start off today by telling the audience, just generally speaking, a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Pete Sala, and I'm running for Erie County Judge. I was born, raised, and educated right here in Erie. I have been married to Jennifer for over 28 years. Together we have 3 children, Brendan, your sister Celeste, and your sister Autumn. And we live right here in Erie, Pennsylvania, and my office is in downtown Erie by the Erie Insurance Arena.
How did you become interested in the law, Pete?
Well, Brendan, you know this story well, but it really starts when I was a young boy in the way I grew up. So for those of you who don't know, my dad was Peter D. Sala. He was the managing editor of the Erie Times News back in the 60s and 70s. He also worked for WICU TV. He was an old school journalist, a good reporter. But unfortunately, he got sick when I was 6 years old from cancer and passed away. That left my mom, Ann Downing Sala, to raise 3 kids by herself. And she did a great job of doing that. But occasionally, and you've heard the story, that she would hire someone to come over to the house to fix something. And sometimes these people would come over and not fix it right or not fix it at all. So that would upset my mom because she didn't have a lot of money. So as a young boy, you want to help your mother out. So I was wondering, how could I help my mom out? How could I protect my mom? So gradually, this idea of becoming a lawyer, through watching TV and movies like The Verdict, came into my mind that these lawyers that I saw were helping people. Paul Newman helped that person in a hospital in The Verdict. How could I, and that's something I could do. That's a lawyer helped those people. So I wanted to help people, and especially I wanted to help my mom. So that idea kind of gained steam as I went through school, and it crystallized when I went to high school and college, and then that's why I went to law school.
So Pete, going back to what you just referenced as law school, go through your educational history with us. Where did you go to school? Where did you go to high school, college, and law school at?
Well, I went to school, started in grade school here at Blessed Sacrament Grade School, because that's where my parents went to church, and that's where I went to church. So went to grade school 1 through 8. It was a great school. It taught the fundamentals of arithmetic and reading and writing. But then I went to Strong Vincent High School, and that was a great experience. I met Mayor Joyce Savacchio there when she was my 10th grade history teacher. She then became the vice principal and eventually became the mayor. But we had great teachers there like Joyce Savacchio. The principal was Ray Fiorelli. It was a great school to go to in the 80s. It really was. So after Strong Vincent High School, I went to Gannon. I attended Gannon University right here in Erie, and that was another great 4 years at Gannon. It really honed in my writing skills. It challenged you as a student. And then upon graduating Gannon University in spring of 1991, I went to Cleveland Marshall College of Law in Cleveland, Ohio, starting in the fall of 1991. Now, Cleveland Marshall College of Law was a challenging school. Brendan, you went there. You can attest to that. Because it graded you on a bell curve. They didn't just hand out A's. They only gave out so many A's and so many B's, and mostly C's and C pluses. So if you wanted a good grade, you had to really work your way through in that class. And they taught you how to research and write, and that school challenged you every day you went to class. And as I attended Cleveland Marshall College of Law, one of the most important things I did there was I was able to they asked me to be the managing editor of the Law Review. So what do you do as managing editor of the Law Review? You edit papers that law professors, law students, and lawyers write, and you edit them grammatically to make them suitable for publication. So by doing that enhances your writing skills because you're always analyzing how to write something in a cohesive and concise manner. So in that manner, Cleveland Marshall really served us well, I believe, as a law school. And then after graduating Cleveland Marshall College of Law in spring of 1994, I came back to Erie.
So Pete, when you came back to Erie, what did you do first, and then from there, where did your career take you?
Well, I was fortunate enough back then, a lot of law students who graduated wanted to become a law clerk. So I was fortunate to get a job as a law clerk for the Erie County Court of Pleas in the spring of 1994. And what do you do as a law clerk is primarily research and writing. You collaborate with the judge on everything that they're doing. You strategize, you analyze cases. Like, here are the facts, here's the law, and you put it together in compliance with the law. But you really, fundamentally, you see how the practice of law works in Erie County, how the courts interact with the row offices, the prothonotary office, the clerk of courts, the register of wills, the recorder of deeds, who house all the records for Erie County. And the courts are constantly interacting with them, as well as the sheriff's department. So in that respect, being a law clerk was one of the best jobs I could ask for as a young lawyer.
After you completed your clerkship, where did your career take you next?
Well, I decided to go out on my own in September of 1995. And I've been there ever since. And I believe I'm one of the last solo practitioners, the last of the true solo practitioners. And I wouldn't want it any other way because I've been exposed to a wide variety of law. I did a lot of family law when I was a young lawyer, family law, custody support, divorce. Then that transcends into criminal and civil cases. I've handled negligence cases, a lot of criminal cases. And I've been up, and it's taken me, the solo practice of law has taken me around the whole state, arguing cases in different counties. And I think importantly, for purposes of the audience in the Erie County, up and down the appellate system. And why is that important? Well, we have 3 appellate courts here in Pennsylvania. There's the Commonwealth Court, the Pennsylvania Superior Court, and the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. I've appeared multiple times in front of them. I've argued successfully in front of all of them. And I've done, I think more importantly, all the research and writing for them. So I put all the briefs together, and that really educates you in the law of that area. You have to do the research, you have to write the brief, and then you have to argue it in front of the appellate courts. And it doesn't always tell you what to do. The appellate courts don't always teach you what to do right, but they teach you what they expect from the trial courts and maybe what not to do in the trial courts. And that's why that experience is important. And I really enjoyed arguing all those cases in the appellate courts.
So Pete, building on that, what sets you apart in this race? Why do you feel that you are qualified to be the next Erie County Court of Common Pleas judge?
Well, I'll tell you, in addition to the court activity that I mentioned there, I've also been a sheriff's solicitor for over 25 years. This is my 26th year. And that's a whole area of law. You know, criminal warrants, sheriff's sales, gun permits, gun rights, all these issues I never would have been exposed to had I not been offered the sheriff's solicitor back in 1997 by Sheriff Bob Mursky. So that experience, that broad experience, is what's important, I think, in this type of race. And as a judge, it's not just one area of law. It's not just civil. It's not just criminal. It's not just family. It's all of it. And then not only that, with the appellate experience and the experience with the sheriff's office, all that experience forms your career and enhances your understanding of the law. And I think it's my experience in the broad experience that I possess that separates me in this race and qualifies me to be the next judge of Erie County.
Well, building on that end there, The judicial ratings from the Erie County Bar Association came out earlier this spring, and the Bar Association gave you their highest rating possible, that is highly recommended. Why do you think that you received this honor?
Because of what we just spoke about. So we have to explain to the Bar Association in the spring why we want to be the next judge of Erie County. And it's a very humbling experience. You have to appear before your peers, the other lawyers of Erie County, and basically explain what you have done. So I've explained to all the lawyers in a more involved format, which is a judicial questionnaire, then in person, what I've done. And once I explained and answered all the questionnaires, and the other lawyers, I believe, understood what I've done, that I've been in front of all these appellate courts, that I've done a lot of jury trials, that I've argued thousands of cases in multiple areas, that they gave me their highest rating, which is highly recommended. And that's a great honor, and I'm proud of it.
And you're the only candidate in the race that is highly recommended.
I am, and and I just continue to represent the people of Erie County in the best way possible, and that's working hard on their cases.
Now, shifting to outside your legal work, what activities in the greater community do you participate in?
Well, I've been a member of the Downtown YMCA board. I served on that for many years, but now I'm focusing on my service to Blessed Sacrament as a board member. I'm a past president and current board member of the Blessed Sacrament Usher Society. We helped the priests and pastor of the parish with everything basically, and the school as well. And because I was an alumni of Blessed Sacrament, and so were you, that's something I hold dear to my heart. And also another organization that is really dear to my heart is the Erie Wolves Club. The Erie Wolves Club is a scholarship organization specifically designed for students graduating and attending the 4 area universities right here in Erie: Penn State, Gannon, Mercyhurst, and Edinburgh. And we give scholarships out to each of those universities every year, and it benefits the students and community of Erie County. We've given out over $2 million in our existence. I was a former recipient when I graduated from Strong Vincent, and I wanted to help continue on with that organization. We're doing really well. But the Erie Wolves Club, I was the past president, and I'm the scholarship chairman of the Erie Wolves Club, and those are the 2 organizations I concentrate on now.
Now, if elected this November, what will your judicial philosophy be?
And this may perhaps be the most important question of them all. My judicial philosophy is this, and it's a campaign theme as well. It's from the people and for the people. And when I say that, here's what I mean. From my upbringing, which we just went through a little bit, and watching my mom as a young boy work hard and instill that work ethic as the matriarch of the family and as an example for the family, that continued on as I grew up. I was a paper boy when I was a young boy. Then I had my first job when I was 16. And we always worked hard. But more importantly, I understand the financial struggles that a lot of people in this community have. What it's like not to, pay a bill, to juggle finances around. And if you're going to judge the circumstances of people who come before you with legal problems, I think it's important that you understand the circumstances that people in Erie County come from, that it's not always easy. It's hard work. But if you work hard, that's what counts. Now, I've lived through it growing up with my mom, who was a widow raising 3 kids. And it was a good experience, and I wouldn't change that. But each and every case I had was more than just a case. It was a living person. I lived those cases with my clients. I understand the problems that face a lot of residents in Erie County. I have committed my practice of law to helping the people of Erie County. And I want the people of Erie County to know that if you elect me as the next judge, I will serve you, the people of Erie County, the best way I know possible, and that's with everything I have. That's what I want you to know.
Thank you, Pete, for joining us.
Thanks, Brendan, for having this with me.